Hello, everyone. This is Mary Kurek with Frontrunners Innovate, and I have lots of smiling, wonderful faces from all over the world today. And so we're tickled to have a panel to be my co-hosts today. And so the panel that is here, I'll get them to introduce themselves in just a minute, but our guest of honor is front and center, just, let me make sure I do, Omono Ibe. Ah, very good. Okay.
Get that right.
Yeah, thank you. I really practice these things. I really do. Ms. Ibe is the President Association of African Startups. She has through FIWA, I'm going to say it that way, trained over 600 women entrepreneurs in financial leadership. And she is the president of the African Government Stakeholders Engagement Forum in Lagos, Nigeria. She has been named by Wellspring, which is a finance and lifestyle magazine, as one of the top 100 most impactful women achieving sustainable development goals. So we welcome you first, just to this platform to have a conversation with people whom I believe will be very powerful and meaningful to what the work that you're doing with startups, with leadership, with finance, with education, because we know that's big. Equity and education is big for you. And we'll talk to you a little bit about all that, but I want us to hear from the panelists so that we can get a context from where they speak when they start to ask you questions, and so you get to know them. So let's start with you, Dr. Toby Malichi.
Well, thank you, Mary. Good morning to everybody. Just congratulations to you. Awful glad to share the panel with you, Angela and Jean. I'm Dr. Toby Malichi, founding executive chairman and global head of development, investment, and diplomacy for Malichi Group worldwide. We are currently over 70 countries around the world. We facilitate the business, trade, transactions from one country to the other. We also own and operate what's called the Global Chamber Indianapolis in Indiana, which Mary is going to be one of the executives running it with us doing, and we're in over 525 regional markets around the world, 195 countries, and on all 7 continents. I want to say this, that it's an honor to be on this panel with each and every one of you. I've been to your countries, and I can't wait to talk with just a little bit, because the Ibes in Lagos, Nigeria, are friends of mine. I used to stay there at the Sheraton Hotel many years ago. And I always say, have a successful day and think globally.
This man is so remarkable. His background is ridiculously long and just amazing. One thing that I think that, and there's so many good things about him, but he is now working under your 6th or 7th president of the United States, Dr.
Yes.
Toby.
Yes.
Yeah, tell him in what role that you play there.
Yes, this is my 6th consecutive White House administration where I advised the White House on international trade issues, trade policy. I'm considered to be one of our country's experts on free trade agreements. I've worked on probably over 95% of them. Currently, I have an office in Pretoria, South Africa. I was made a chief in Ghana. And currently, we are exporting to the Congo, Lagos, Nigeria, and Dakar with some medical supplies. That should be completed actually within today or tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll have that done. So I truly have a heart for Africa.
Well, there you go. There's that connection, as if you needed to know that, because clearly he's a business diplomat, and that's what I call him. So thank you, Dr. Malichi. Angela Unufe, who is in the UK, but has roots in Africa. Why don't you share a little bit?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone here from the UK, Nottingham. My name is Dr. Angela Unufe, originally from Nigeria. I grew up there about 10 years of my life. The majority of my life was spent in the UK. I've got very strong roots back home in Africa. I travel quite a lot. I've got NGO in Africa, and currently training our surgeons and chief medical directors on how to use a product which I'm bringing into Africa, specifically in Nigeria. So that's the current project right now. And the goal is to reduce surgical site infection across sub-Saharan Africa. And we'll be focusing on cesarean section first, and then move to other interventions as well. I'm very passionate about leadership, women in leadership, innovation, technology. You talk about, creating new ways, better ways to enhance medical care in Africa. That's my cup of tea. I'm so happy to be on this panel today. Just lovely to meet you. I am in Nigeria in 3 weeks to do a presentation with all these clinical CMDs in the whole of Nigeria will be in the presentation. So I'm kind of nervous about that, but I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, no worries. You've got a whole network here that will support you on that. Angela and I both work with a company that she just talked about, and Toby, that's Dr. Toby, that's somebody that we want to talk to you about at some point. So wonderful. Thank you, Angela, for being on. And what she didn't say also, I don't think I heard that, is she worked with refugees in healthcare at a while back when she realized they did not have a voice. They weren't being heard, and in a way that they needed to be heard. And that was where, was that in Ireland? Where was that?
And the European Union, Brussels.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So Jean, you've been smiling this whole time. Are you taking notes? Yeah, I think so. And I think Justice as well. Jean, how about sharing a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah, thank you for hosting me and also meet these great people, especially Dr. Malichi. I've been following for a while. And finally,
there you go. You finally got to meet. There you go. That's why you're smiling.
Yes, I'm the president of two global nonprofits and also a very small consulting business. I've worked across industries and I've worked in over 25 countries. And for my organization, the Global Council, we're trying to bring technology, to not only to different sectors like healthcare, but also bring our leaders to be able to meet other leaders in the US and also abroad to build a sort of partnership that can help them advance their countries. So we work in local government, also the private sector, and also at the government level. For my other nonprofits, I'm trying to build technology centers where boys and youth, because the future of work is going to be dependent highly on technology. So we want to help them learn those basic skills so that in the future they can be able to be more employable in the future. And quickly for my nonprofit, for my other private company, I'm consulting with my books. I'm also a writer of 3 books on change, crisis leadership, and also how to deal with stakeholders, how to manage projects globally. So, and I'm going to be publishing 2 other books in December about disruptions in technology and how it's going to be, impact how companies are going to be compete on a global scale. So this is my work, and I'm happy to join you and see how we can work together.
Sean, are you in DC? Washington,
Yes.
DC?
Washington,
He's
DC.
in Washington, DC. Okay. And Dr. Toby is in Indianapolis or Indiana. Angela, where in the UK are you?
Nottingham.
Nottingham. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Still need to talk to you about Wayne Rooney again. So she's not far from very famous, player. Yeah. So, okay, I've got to talk to you about him again. Uju, I know you are having trouble with internet connectivity. He's also in Nigeria, I believe. Uju, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Just confirm if you can hear me.
Yes.
Fantastic. I'm honored to be here. You know what it is when you go last, when every other prominent speaker has spoken, you're wondering what more do I need to say. But I'm really, really grateful to hear about all of the amazing things that Jean, Dr. Malachi, Mary spoke really, really highly of you, and I just had a whole time going through your profile. And it is amazing to be on this panel with you and Angela as well. It's great to hear about the work that you're doing. Everyone is so inspiring. And I'm just left here thinking, okay, What more do I have to say? I'd rather just sit in the back and just listen, but I'm really grateful to be part of this, and just as well to be part of this panel. But like Mary said, my name is Uju. I'm Nigerian, but I currently live in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. And I used to work just until recently with the African Union, supporting the work of the Commission around youth development. But prior to that, I've also worked with the United Nations around education, peace building, youth development as well. So basically on programs and supporting programming in Africa. So both with the AU as well as with the UN. Do I have a bit of stint as well, working as well as supporting peace and conflict work with different NGOs, but education is sort of my passion, something that I love and something that I'm passionate about, and I'm also driven to support. And with the diversity on the panel and also speaking to Just, I look forward to contributing to the conversation, but also learning from the expertise that exists in the room. I think there's a huge benefit that that this panel and this composition has to provide to this conversation, and I am really excited to jump on it. So thank you once again, Mary, and thank you to Just, Dr. Malachi, Angela, and John. It's a pleasure to be with you on this panel. Mary, over to you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Uju. I'm going to have Just go ahead and do a little bit of background on herself and then what she's doing right now. And then we'll open it up to questions, but I'll probably go to Dr. Malachi first to see what comments and questions he has, because I know he's got a hard stop in a little bit. But Just, why don't we start with you just sharing a little bit of what brought you into the work that you're doing right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Dr. Malachi, it's an extreme pleasure to meet you today. Angela, it's such a delight to meet you. I cannot wait for when you come to Nigeria so we can connect on a very personal level. And Jean, it's so great to meet you. Uju, thank you so much for sharing all of the things you've shared today. My name is Just Omono Ibe, and I'm just going to share all the different things that led me to where I'm at today. In 2020, I had an epiphany. And at that time, I became awakened to a greater sense of responsibility towards the African continent. Before now, I have done several things around consulting for businesses across the globe, tens of thousands of entrepreneurs. But at 2020, just before COVID hit, it dawned on me that there was a lot of work that needed to be done if we were going to advance the cause of the youth and our leadership on the African continent. And that led me to birth multiple organizations that run the different things we run today. At the foundation of it is the Association of African Startups, where we focus on training entrepreneurs with skills and resources required to build sustainable businesses. And then moving forward, we founded an organization called the African Government Stakeholders Engagement Forum. And our key focus is to create uniform systems, institutions, processes upon which all the different countries in Africa can look at it or can solve problems through one singular lens, so that we can have an Africa that can be treated equally across the globe, especially with relations to all the different countries in the global north. And this year, our theme at the African Government Stakeholders Engagement Forum is Education and Youth Development, restructuring education and youth development for the Africa we want. This was birthed because we recognize that there's such inequality as far as the level of education and youth development in the different countries within the continent. And so you would find that at the foundation of the issues we face in Africa, xenophobia and all the different hostilities we face around each other, is because there's inequalities amongst the youth in these different countries on the continent. So you would find that a youth in Nigeria as compared to a youth in another country that doesn't have as much exposure as Nigeria, they can't compete comparatively, both locally and globally. And so in order for us to fix those issues, we need to begin to create uniform systems with which we have education and youth development. And that's what created what we're doing this year. And the approach we decided to use was identify stakeholders from North Africa, South Africa, East Africa, West Africa, North and Central Africa, and the diaspora, to say, let's identify the problems you have within your region, and let's postulate solutions so that at the end of this engagement, white paper solutions that enable us say this is a singular framework upon which we can solve with education and youth development, and then cascade these policies into the different nations on the African continent as to see how we can apply this at the level of governance. Because we know that majority of the work we do at advocacy level or at development level can only have real-time transformation if we begin to engage the stakeholders that are in charge of leadership in every nation. So this year, that's what we are working on with the African Government Stakeholders Engagement Forum. And I'm very open to hearing your perspectives, your opinions, how we can further collaborate to strengthen the work that we do so that we can achieve the goals that we set to achieve.
Thank you, Just. Wonderful little overview. One of the things that she and I discussed when I first met Just was the fact that when you're looking at something so broad, you're looking at policy. And that's a tough one. That it's government, that's politics, that's a little bit of everything. It's AU, it's, you know, it's everything. Dr. Malichi, any comments, questions that you might have?
Nope, she covered everything.
What would you say to advise her from the standpoint of biting off something this big and trying to create a singular framework when you've got countries that don't even love each other there in Africa, don't even agree, that you're looking at maybe the AU? I don't know. I am,
number one, Just, I admire you and I admire the work that you're doing. I'm sitting here listening in awe with your energy and your passion, because without passion, you have nothing. And with your, you're very candid about what your goals, objectives are, what you're trying to do. So I applaud that. You are truly someone that I think if God selected someone to take the task on, he selected you, to do so. Youth empowerment is huge with me. I will tell you that women are huge with me. I think that's an area that I'd like to see more of going in. Government, as Mary said, is a little tricky, but my question to you is that there's so many things I do want to ask, and I'm going to hang around a little bit longer because I'm so impressed. You're familiar with the passage of the African Free Trade Agreement, which was January of this year. And since as you're reaching out to the whole continent, of Africa, and around Africa, do you find that free trade agreement, which is to bring us a trilateral, to bring all African countries together in sort of one spot, to come together and open up borders and access to markets and access to governments, access to commerce and trade? Do you find, or will you find that free trade agreement will be helpful to your project, your endeavor, or do you find that it won't be helpful at all? Okay, she just had popped out. She's having network issues too. She's back in. Could you frame that question one more time, Dr. Malichi, so she can get it? Yes, is she back in? Yeah, okay. She's in. I'll simplify it. There's a free trade agreement with Africa, just got passed this January of this year. Continental Free Trade Agreement, and what it's done, it's the first agreement of its kind in Africa. And what it's doing is it's gone throughout whole Africa and connecting all of Africa together now, as opposed to country here, a country here, a country there, and giving access to markets, access to government, access to economic development, trade, and commerce. Do you find that working with youth, working with women, you think that free trade agreement will open up opportunities now for your opportunity, your project you're doing, or do you find that free trade agreement will have no impact?
Thank you so very much. That's such a fantastic question. The AfCFTA Free Trade Agreement is one step to helping us achieve the Africa we want. In order for us to truly achieve all the different things we say we want to achieve in Africa, including the things I just shared, we need to have a regional trading system that allow us to see each other at the level of a market, or a bloc, as we call it, a trade bloc. And the AFCFTA, obviously, if properly adopted by all the different nations on the continent, would give us a seamlessness as far as trading within the continent and as far as interactions and collaborations at different cadres of the society. So right now, we know that so many countries have ratified the agreement. So many countries are wanting to go ahead with this agreement. I know that a couple countries, about 6 of them, have gone ahead to actually test run this agreement. And I do know that at the AFCFTA level, there are some teething problems, but as a continent, we will get over it. But that being said, how will this help what we are doing? Basically, at the level where we are at, what we're looking to is collaborate with bodies like the AFCFTA, AU, who already are regional champions, so to speak, regional multilateral organizations on the continent, who already have frameworks or systems within the continent that allow us just partner with them at that level to push an agenda that is complementary to the agenda they are trying to push. At the foundation of what the AFCFTA seeks to achieve is a uniform trading system, no borders within the continent, so that there is seamlessness of trade and all the other collaborations and partnerships on the African continent. But at the end goal is a singular Africa. That's the overarching goal. And so in partnership with them, while they are doing the trade aspect, we in partnership with them can begin to say, while you're handling trade, trade is one cadre of what we need to fix if Africa is going to thrive as one singular continent and one singular country. We need to pick other elements like the education, the youth development, and all the other things. So yes, just to answer what you said, that AFCFTA agreement will strengthen the work that we do once we come into some level of partnership that allows them to see us as implementation partners on one area of the things they want to achieve.
Great. Excellent.
Yeah. Uju, I'm curious about your comments because you've been in with the African Union and some of these large NGOs. What comment might you have that will help her see her way into the partnership like what she's talking about?
Thank you, Mary. In fact, I was taking notes about a couple of things.
I think everybody's taking notes, me included.
And I had a few ideas that I could also share, but I think I'll start off with a question. I'm just, you work in like different areas and you do different things. I think my first question is, how are you able to navigate all of those areas? There's entrepreneurship, there's youth, and there's government, there's policy. How are you able to navigate all of them? And then in terms, you talked about partnership, and I was asking myself, what kind of partnership are you looking for when engaging with the CFTA? Yeah, I have a couple of colleagues there, and I know a couple of people who I can connect you with. So off the top of my head, I'm already thinking, what kind of partnership are you looking for? And what have you done so far in terms of reaching out, in terms of engagement, which can be a platform to initiate a connection? Because I'm more than happy to put you in contact with some of the people I know at the CFTA and who already work there. I'm sure who will be very excited in working with you. You talked about regional blocks. Yes. Have you had any engagement with the RECs? That's ECOWAS, SADC, COMESA, EAC. How do you intend to work with them? You know, as a region. Just to say that the colleagues or some of my friends at UNDP recently launched an innovation challenge and focusing on the CFTA, in fact. And I understand as that yesterday, we had received over 1,500 applications. Wow. For young people who want to work in trade. So if that's something you might be interested in engaging with, I'm happy to also put you in contact with a colleague on the UNDP side who's leading on this. I think the connections that I'm able to help you create would be very instrumental in also positioning you to take advantage of what the CFTA is, as well as the connections there. But yes, thank you very much, Mary, and over to you.
Jess, do you have a response to those questions?
Thank you so much, Uju. Thank you so much. I like how he truly picked each and everything. So the first is, how am I able to navigate all the different things? There's entrepreneurship, there's education, there's youth development. Like I said earlier, the burden I have for Africa is such that we achieve our One Africa agenda. In order to achieve that, you need to fix different cadres as far as the continent is concerned. That means that you pick one, structure, put systems in place so that it can run, and then you move on to the next. With proper systems and structures, you can build multiple platforms that you may call initiatives at the beginning, but that will go on to solve key issues on the continent. So we started first with creating a platform for entrepreneurs, the Association of African Startups, to gather entrepreneurs from all the areas countries on the continent, to say to them, let's teach you how to build sustainable businesses so that we can put an end to the number of startups that are failing after 5 years within the continent. And in starting that, they went ahead to some level of structure that allows it to run very seamlessly, such that every month we have capacity building programs that brings in experts from across the different areas of the globe to teach industry-specific knowledge on the things entrepreneurs need to move forward. So to a very large extent, we have a very beautiful system and structure that has that running, powered by different team members, COOs, and the list is endless. Now, in order to move the conversation forward at policy level, especially for education and youth development, which is the CADA or the theme for this year, we decided to create the African Government Stakeholders Engagement Forum. Of course, at this level, systemization. So the second question is, what have you done that will help us create a level playing conversation? This year, we have our flagship conference called Restructuring Education and Youth Development for the Africa We Want. Like I said earlier, what we have done with this is invite different experts, policy people from different areas of the continent, North, South, East, West, Central, and diaspora, so that we can hear everybody's perspective. I do not want to create a solution based on what I think. It may be short-sighted. So we had to bring people from different areas to come sit to the table to identify the core issues. Now, why do we need partnerships with the AU, the AFCFTA, and all the organizations you've mentioned? Because at policy level, we need people who have footprint and influence at every government. The AU, the AFCFTA is influential at government level. So the kind of partnership we're looking for is so that they become, or we become, their implementation partner as far as that CADA of influence is concerned. The AFCFTA, the AU have education, youth development as part of the things they want to achieve for our 2063 AU agenda. I mean, One Africa agenda is part of that. So if we come in as their implementation partner, all they need to do is use their office, so to speak, their influence, their power to get us into the different governments to implement the solutions we have created by stakeholder engagement within the continent. So Uju, just like you have rightly said, that's the kind of partnership we're looking for with the AU, with the ASCFTA as implementation partners, so that we can get into the government and enact the policies. There's no use creating solutions if at policy level is not adopted or accepted. That way, it will just be talks around conversation. And if we must move Africa forward, we need to move from just the conversation to policies. So yes, those are the kind of partnerships we're looking for at the AU level and the AFCFTA level. And what have I done so far to reach them? In the beginning of this year, we had sent out several letters to the AU, to the AFCFTA, to attempt to get them to partner with us. I mean, we didn't get any response. Up until now, we haven't gotten any response. And I can understand that, because at the beginning of everything, the first question is, who is she? What makes her think she can solve the problems and all of that? And I can understand.
She's a woman. That's
why conversations like this with Uju here and Dr. Toby Malichi, Angela, and everyone who is here, Jean, can attempt to use our different connections to bring us to tables where we can cause real change. So Uju, yes, I'll be happy to get us into rooms so we can take this conversation further at partnership level. I do know, Mary, that with the seal of the AU, AFCFTA, UNDP, United Nations, where necessary, if the seal was on the work that we do, it would be easily acceptable at the level of the different governments on the continent.
Okay. Very good. Uju, I know that you probably have a response to that. Do you have a quick response to her? And then I'm going to move to Angela.
I think I won't want to draw us back. I would just say that the passion in your voice and the enthusiasm and the way you've expressed, I'm also like, okay, fine, I need to do this as quickly as possible.
She's good. She's really good at that.
I'm happy to take this forward after this conversation, but yeah, back to you, Mary.
Very good. I think that probably what's going to happen after this, and this is the best part of whenever I do something like this, is the conversations that happen afterwards. Toby knows that. Angela knows that. John's getting to know that, and Uju's knowing it now. You two can have a conversation. I know you've got each other's contact information. If you don't, you can go ahead and chat it with, in the chat privately if you want to. Angela, as the only other woman on this in this group, and as someone who's really hit the glass ceilings and broken through them as a woman, and even though you are doing so pretty much from the European side of the house, you're back and forth to Africa. You know what it's like to knock down doors, and you are actually in the process of knocking on some pretty big doors in Africa, ministries and cabinet folks. Advice that you might have for Just, or questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Just your passion just spells everything about you. I can relate to that because you can't do anything without passion, and it's embedded in you. And that's what will see you through. When you were talking about the different implementation, one thing stood out: inclusion. Include us in this. Let's be part of this. Let's not be sitting there, give us the information and we kind of like disseminate it. No, you want to be part of the solution. And that in that respect of policy is so important. It just made me think back to when I wrote a project in relation to the migrants coming to the European Union back in 2016. No one wanted to listen. You know, I had to fly out to Brussels to speak to a president. I had 30 seconds with him. In less than 10 seconds, he agreed for me to put into writing, and then the rest was history. But it's just that breaking that door. You said it. You've written letters. You're not going to get reply back. Majority of the time, you wouldn't. But you just got to keep doing it. And it is upsetting. But when you get that door open, my God, you will just want to keep running. And that's the thing I'm just going to say to you. Just keep that passion. I knocked that door down. No one wanted to listen. No one cared about the migrants coming in through the seas and if their healthcare needs are being met from country to country. There were 12 different European countries that joined the project with me, and it's online, it's everywhere. But COVID happened, so that stopped it. But it didn't stop my drive. I've put my energy into Africa. So at the end of the day, one door shuts, you open another door. And I'm doing that as the only woman in the company where it's all men. The same company, they wanted to get into Africa. And I felt, it's not about just getting to Africa. What can you offer Africa? Mm-hmm. What can I offer Africa? I am an African. What am I taking back? First thing I thought, yes, you want to sell your product. Have you thought about doing some research? Don't know. We'll think about it. Next day, called me and said, yes, we can do research. Do you want to head it? I said, yes, I do. And that was it. I flew out straight to Nigeria, got 3 hospitals involved. I got 10 in the waiting, wanted to be part of this research, all about reducing surgical site infection. The doors had to be broken. I had to go there, speak. And you know how it is in Nigeria, because on the phone, it's not the same. It's different when you're there. Yep. It's different when you think about, my goal is to elevate surgeons, the professors in Africa to do exactly the same thing we do here in the UK and in Europe. Why can't we do that? But it has to start somewhere. So I'm very passionate about education. It doesn't matter if you don't have a master's or a degree, but the fact that you want to lead. I'm a woman, and knocking down doors in Nigeria, in Africa, you know how difficult it is, but I'll keep knocking it down. So right now, one of the biggest achievements so far is actually getting every single chief medical officers for the federal medical hospitals in the whole of Nigeria will be in one room in 2 weeks' time listening to me. And I hope I'll be able to channel that need of, we need to elevate the healthcare system we have in Africa is broken. Let's fix it. How are we going to fix it? I've got in my mind policy, framework, education. Let's move. We've got to move quick. And that's how we'll get there. There is no easy way out. There's no like straight away, this is it, A, B, and C. No, you've got to be ready to adapt, evaluate, look at other ways, and be ready to be inclusive of other channels as well. Yes, I'm all about health. I'm all about education as well. So I'm all about youth empowerment, women empowerment. So those are things that kind of like, it kind of reaches out to what you're doing. And I'm very, very much in need to kind of support you any way I can. And obviously in this platform, I'm actually feeling really small here compared to all the achievements everyone has done. But it's just the fact that
sparks are flying. It's just so good.
It's just the fact that, you know, for me, it's not just one country. I'm in so many countries right now. As Mary said, I've just come back from Gambia. That was an invitation from the First Lady. You know, I've gone there instantly now. Mary, I didn't even say to you, but you saw the email. The hospital service there was so bad that I actually caught a viral infection in one of the wards. That's how bad it is. And that's made me think, what can I do? So instantly now, as we speak, we're trying to get a lab set up in the only teaching hospital in Gambia. That is shocking to hear. They have no lab. So the equipment we brought in, the rapid testing, we had children dying from E. coli in their kidney. 30 children died in August last month. No one knew how, there was no facility to do testing. And when they finally did the testing, they had to be sent to Dakar, which is Senegal, and then come back. Obviously, the kids lost their lives. So the things like that, whatever I can do to help a country, to help this system, I will do it. So this is just added on to my other work, but it's a passion I have to make sure that our health system is fit for purpose.
Great. Thank you, Angela. I love the passion. It's just amazing. Between the two of you, it's like fireworks going off. Just when you get past what you're doing with education and you get to the place of healthcare, then you need to talk to Angela again. And Angela, remind me to introduce you to Ismail, who is in the Gambia. I don't know if you met him. Ismail Baji, I've got him 2 or 3 calls. He is a pharmacist educated at Purdue, Dr. Toby, at Purdue. And he's in Charlotte, North Carolina. He took his innovation back home to the Gambia and he has created out of a medicine, he calls it not a pharmacy, but a medicine store. He's created a medical hub where they put the medicine and doctors and screenings on wheels. And so now it's kind of like Meals on Wheels. It goes out and does all that. But he's somebody I've just interviewed and he is hiring all the time. He knows how to work with the diaspora on these things. So yeah, definitely want to get him connected with you guys. So that aside, Jean, you've been intermittently smiling and taking notes and all this stuff. One thing I want to say before we get through, because Angela hit on it, my husband is a retired Marine captain. And one of the things he used to tell me is, if you want something, see somebody in person. It's easy to say no on the phone. It's easy to toss a letter in the trash can and not even worry about it. But it's really hard when somebody's standing in front of you not to at least try to help them and figure out a next direction for them. And that is how he got me. I just want to tell you. I had met him at a Mexican tree trimming party and there was a lot of people there and he knew that in order to get a date with me, he was gonna have to come ask me in person. So he did. So, but you know, that said, one other person that I know that manages to get sponsors and get wherever she wants to get to, she's got JP Morgan, she's got Coca-Cola as major sponsors and everything. One of the things that she has told me, and I've had her on a call with a bunch of other people to say the same thing, when she goes to ask for anything, she gets a brand that likes her and a government official in the room at the same time. She doesn't go without the 2 parties. And so the day that I first interviewed her, she was heading that afternoon to a meeting with the mayor of Los Angeles and a representative from Google. So brilliant, brilliant. So if you can get a brand there that likes you, that appreciates what you're doing, that has some wherewithal, I guarantee you the politicians will listen, because where do they get their money for their campaigns and whatnot? They get it from the private sector. So she's smart enough to know. She's Latin American. She figured that out. She's got her format. So I'll leave that with you. But Jean, any comments, questions might you have for our young lady here?
A lot. Ibe, she, I think we share almost the same passion. So I have an excessive passion for education. And so I was thinking, well, as she was talking, I was trying to put down some practical steps, to where she wanna be. For example, in terms of education area, and also technology, I'm gonna reach out my contacts because I'm trying to build a center of technology excellence. We're gonna have some sort of machine learning for youth area, and I am one of the global leaders of AI, and also on the board of my directors of my nonprofit.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So we're trying to build this for the next 2 months. We're gonna be building that and try to see how we can deploy it, across 30 countries minimum in the next 2 years. So this can be very good area. So I'm gonna really have a meeting with him and try to engage directly with Jazz and how we can move this. And in terms of healthcare as well, one of the global leaders in the medical technology aspect is from Israel. He's also one of my board of directors. So he has developed many solutions in this area. And as Angela was talking about healthcare, I was thinking about him straightly. So I'll be happy after the call. I will be able to talk to them directly and see how we can bring those their practical solutions area we want to be in terms of quickly, I did our forum next week. I try to bring youth, how you can be involved in African Union technology program, because we don't see youth at the core of this project. And even with the FCA, we are at the core of this technology infrastructure building aspect. So youth has to also be engaged in this area. And one of the things that we are bringing in terms of AI is to bring youth in this, to be involved practically in those areas. So for the next 6 months, we are going to be engaged, building those capacities in terms of technology for healthcare, supply chain, and those areas. And I'll be happy to practically talk to her and see how we can move this forward. Yeah. I'm ready.
Perfect. Jean, you might want to talk to Uju about that innovation grant or whatever it is that he was talking about a little bit earlier, because that could be interesting for you. I could see, Jess, you've got a summit coming up. Jean, you're planning an event as well. It could be that you could collaborate in some way that would help both of you to move some things forward. But I think that would be a conversation for you to have maybe afterwards. So before we close up with any final comments from Jess, I was going to ask Dr. Toby if he had any final words to share with us.
Thank you, Mary. I do. Jess, if I can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Jess, I'm so impressed by you and what you're doing. And Angela, I want to talk with you too about the medical side. I actually have a White House administration meeting at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm the past vice chairman, and I'm also the chairman of Doing Business in Africa. And I just said a little note, put my presentation last because of my respect for you. I want to give you the time that you deserve, and also on this panel. And one of the things that we have a problem with in America for Black entrepreneurs, particularly women as well, is access to capital. And I know that you're in a fundraising mode or looking to find investments for your projects. There's a couple of things that are coming up that I'd like to offer you. One, as the maintenance director and owner of the Global Chamber in Indianapolis, Indiana, that we have these global chambers all over. We have them throughout Africa. And so I would like to offer to you, and I'll set it up, we'll talk offline, to be one of our speakers, where you'll actually get to speak to all 525 regional markets around the world, 195 countries. If you're amenable to that, I'd like to set that up, to do that, a Globinar.
I love that. I love that.
And secondly, I've been invited to speak at a committee for the United Nations coming up here on the 20th of September. Just this morning, I accepted to speak at a Power for Africa conference in New York as well on the 23rd. And it has to do with investment, trade investment, for Africa. And along those lines, thirdly, our country is having a U.S. Africa summit on December the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And so some kind of way, I want to get your information, and at least if we can't, along those speeches, sometime if I can interwove you into what we're doing, I'd be willing, to do that as well. So I know there's a challenges that you have, but you have, as I started with the passion to do that. And however that we can help on this side, consider it done. And the same goes for Uge and Jean and Angela. Your great work, knocking down doors. You ladies got me ready to go out here and knock down a door. There's no door in there. I'm ready to knock down a door, just to knock it down. But Angela, we have done export deals to Angola for medical equipment, hospital supplies, and for private hospitals. And we're also currently involved in a distribution of COVID drugs. I'm responsible, Malichi Group Worldwide is responsible for Africa. They're not the US COVID drugs, but it's something that I have a passion for, because I was really, really, really angry that the drugs, whether you want to use them or not, it's up to you, we're not getting to Africa. And I was really, really upset behind that. And so I put my money where my mouth at. So we're a distributor procurement of that, to work as well. And then as well, why have you both, we have partnered with a firm in New Jersey, thanks to Mary, and we're donating hand sanitizer and the washable gowns, special gowns. We're donating them throughout the world, throughout the country, and we're going to do so. Angela or Just or Jean or Uge, if you looking for that, the only thing that we ask is just we get a little public relations out of it, that we're doing something. So we don't ask any payment for them, whatsoever. So given that, I'm going to hang around, because I want to listen to what everyone has to say and give you, each the respect that you deserve. And I know just that the women aspect of it is tough. I mentioned I knew some Ibes, another private common name in Nigeria, who owned the Sheraton at that time and also involved with the Guardian. But I met Cami through a board that I served on. It's called the Center for International Private Enterprise site, which is part of national democracy. And that's something I think a connection I like to make with you on that. Because what they do is go into countries and help establish democracy. How? Through entrepreneurship and through youth development and education. Mm-hmm. And I think that's right in your wheelhouse, that I think you can run with it, and as well as Jean and Uge, and something that Jean keeps saying that I agree with. If you don't have a digital strategy in 2022, you're going to be left behind. Mm-hmm. So you have to have a digital strategy on how you're going to compete in the global marketplace, and then I see that coming. So with that, I'm going to stop. Just to give you just thank you for the great work you're doing. Continue to do so, and knowing that as I said, Angela's got me going through a door back here. I don't even have a door. to know that you've got people like myself. There's many of us, I'm sure, around the world that support you, want to support, and has a genuine heart for Africa.
Thank you.
And not to find some kind of financial gain. It has a genuine heart for Africa.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Toby. I feel like today is a dream come true. not because we have gotten to the pinnacle, but because I see men and women who has genuine interest in the development and growth of this continent. And Dr. Toby, thank you so much for letting go a lot of the things that you have in your confines that you can share very willingly. Thank you. That means a lot to me. In this part where we come from, people don't just give you stuff. People don't just do stuff for you. But to see men who genuinely say, I have this and I'm willing to share, that means so much to me. And Dr. Toby, I'm going to be one of those ladies who will keep following you everywhere, literally.
I love it.
You have adopted a mentee today, whether you accept or not. Whether you accept it or not.
I think he's got a few adoptees on this call.
Say
Yeah, he's got a few. Yeah, I adopted him first though. So
That's fantastic. That's good. So I'm going after Mary, but I'm coming. Mentee.
yeah, I know. Yes.
Awesome.
This is,
Yes,
this is one of the reasons that I like doing these kinds of things. I tell you what, I think this has just been such a useful thing for everybody. And Angela, I'll get you and me and Dr. Toby together at some point soon to talk about business. But Uju, thank you. Jean, thank you. I mean, you just are you. You're just so wonderful. You just like glow, and you did such a good job of articulating what you want and what you feel like you need to have happen. And it sounds like it's a combination of partnerships, right? Partnerships, getting the word out, some policies that will come after the partnerships start getting into place. And then you get heard. As Angela said, you got to knock that door down so you can get heard. And it's like Jean said, there's an opportunity maybe to collaborate between he and Uju, and then what everybody else has said, and the opportunities to network. It's really great. I hope you and Angela get a chance to meet in person when she gets there.
Angela, you have to. I mean,
Yes,
I'm not asking, I'm demanding, actually.
Your sisters now. Your sisters now.
I am
No, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Perfect.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Uju, any final word from you or anyone else? And then we'll conclude our visit today.
Yes, also something quickly.
Okay.
I said, so our boards, my board, I have two boards. I have the Global Advisory Board, and I want to possibly, I want to consider you guys and also Angela to be on the board, because we're gonna see a lot of leaders around to be on the board.
There you go.
And also, I'm gonna send a letter to Dr. Toby to be my distinguished fellow, where I recognize global leaders who are doing great for Africa. I will be considering you for this program too. And also Uju as well, yeah. So they're all welcome.
And I just wanted to say one word to you, Mary, just 3 seconds.
Sure.
It might look, we've met today, there's a beginning of something fantastic, something great. I'm just a phone call away. I'm a text away, I'm a WhatsApp away. The one thing I would really want to say to you is that passion, keep it burning. Because without that, there's nothing.
Never give up. Never give up.
That burning fire of passion, of change. I want to be in the midst of men, and I'm the only woman standing there. You need something like that.
Yes, yes, Angela. Yes, 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 yes. That is secret. That's exactly how I feel.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, you're among friends, my dear. Uju, anything?
It looks like all of the connections have been created. Everyone is excited.
Uju, I want to see your face. Do you mind?
I know. I wish we could.
Let me try.
I like to see his face.
Okay, he's in the dark because he has no electricity.
Okay. At least I see the frame. I see the smile.
He's there. He's there. He's there.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really excited. And the connections today, I know that it's connections of a lifetime. And Angela, John, Dr. Toby, I look forward to connecting with you a lot more. I'm also another adoptee, so let's keep the connection going. But thank you very much, everyone.
I love it. Thank you.
Well, wonderful. You guys have each other's contact. You've got each other's email address. If you need anything from me, just let me know. It would be great at some point maybe to get everybody back together in a couple of months and see where everybody's at. But Dr. Malichi, did you have one last thing to say?
I've got to jump off.
Sure.
I want to say to our guest, just, I like that, just like right now,
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
And to Angela, so honored to meet you, Angela. I was raised by women, and you remind me of my family of women that I'm so fired up. I don't know what to do. I mean,
If you can fire up Dr. Malichi, you've done something.
I think Dark is afraid of you.
I really like that.
and to Jean, who honored me on LinkedIn, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Jean, so nice to meet you and talk with you. And Uju, got to see your face smile there for a moment.
Yeah.
I like to say, and Mary, who I say this, she's anointed for this, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe it's God anointed, and I said she's just short of walking on water as I feel.
Yeah.
And I believe that's one
Too
that does that. So I wish each and every one of you success for today and bright hope for tomorrow. Let's keep this going. Let's stay in touch. Reach out to me. I'll reach back out to you. I'm not good on the chat thing, but I'll do on the email or WhatsApp. And just God bless you. I'm so sorry I've got to jump off. But they're driving me crazy over here now.
Okay.
So
you go take care of the White House.
Well,
good luck on that, by the way. And we'll be talking to you soon. Angela and I will find a way to get to you soon. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. If you can stay with me for a second, I see people in chat putting their phone numbers and stuff like that. Dr. Toby, goodbye. And I'm going to say, if you're watching this on YouTube, go to www.frontrunnersinnovate.com, where you'll get the interview and some more information that Just is providing us, and you'll get some information on all the panel members that are here. So thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Angela. We love you. Thank you, everyone.